The moment was set with precision, as if the heavens themselves had chosen it. Chaos reigned, panic-stricken souls fleeing in every direction, yet none foresaw the blade that would descend from the shadows. Even Ling Han, ever vigilant, was caught unawares. His divine sense, sweeping through the area, found only common souls, earthworms burrowing below, mice scurrying in the brush, trivial presences. He passed them by, thinking little of them. Yet, a sword, imbued with power beyond mortal comprehension, surged forward. 9 flashes of sword chi, each strike amplifying the next, chained together, creating an onslaught that promised nothing less than death. In the frantic moments, Ling Han lifted his gaze, just in time to witness the prowler's face manifest from the shadows. Yan Tianzhao, already having stepped into the flower blossom tier. The sight was jarring, and for a fleeting moment, Ling Han pondered the rapid rise of his enemy, who had recently been but a 9th-layer spiritual pedestal tier warrior. Now, to break through so swiftly, as if it were no more than a step, how terrifying was this speed? A sudden thought flashed through Ling Han's mind. Yan Tianzhao must have received a reward. He himself had obtained the 9 Dragons Tyrant body art, and if Yan Tianzhao had received medicinal pills, his progress to the Flower Blossom tier made perfect sense. Before Ling Han could act, his mind was interrupted. The figure of Zhu Xuan-er, clothed in white, dove in front of him. She wrapped herself around him, shielding him from the imminent attack. Foolish girl, he was fine. But now, he couldn't enter the Black Tower. The only option would be to knock her out and put her inside, but the attack would surely strike him first. In an instant, Zhu Xuan-er was struck by the sword. The blade plunged deep into her body, and without pause, it moved toward Ling Han. The power of the Flower Blossom tier was overwhelming. Even a spiritual pedestal warrior couldn't hope to withstand it, not even in the face of death. As the sword's point reached Ling Han, it was halted by the Thunder Battle armor. Crafted from the rarest of materials, this 10th tier treasure was a masterpiece of protection. Yet, even such a formidable item could not withstand the force of Yan Tianzhao's blow. The destructive power surged through the armor, wreaking havoc on Ling Han's body, causing blood to gush forth and veins to burst in his flesh. Zhu Xuan-er fared far worse. Her delicate body crumpled to the ground, her life force plummeting. Rage surged through Ling Han's veins as he bellowed, "Small rock! Kill him!" With a flash, he transported Zhu Xuan-er into the Black Tower. The world around him dissolved into chaos, but Ling Han focused, pulling her close as he retreated. Yue Kaiyu, witnessing the sudden disappearance of the two, shouted in disbelief. "They're gone!" His frustration mounted. "Am I the only one who thinks this is strange? 2 people, alive and well, just vanish." Who knew, her face contorted in fury, shouted, "Dare to harm Niu's Ling Han? Niu is very mad. Niu will bite you to death." With lightning speed, she charged at Yan Tianzhao, her movements swift as the wind, teeth bared in a deadly snarl. Yan Tianzhao, astounded, understood that Ling Han's treasured armor had been the key to his survival. He had carefully calculated the timing of his sneak attack, but an unexpected element had occurred. The girl had intervened. Though her cultivation was low, her actions still interfered with his strike, diverting some of the power. The twist, however, came when Ling Han and Zhu Xuan-er disappeared together. Yan Tianzhao had not felt any spatial disturbances, which meant they had not teleported. Could it be that Ling Han possessed a treasure that could house living beings? Greed flickered in Yan Tianzhao's heart. Such treasures were rare, especially in his world where only those of noble birth could possess them. He burned with desire. He must acquire such a treasure at any cost. The golem's strike neared, and Hu Niu's swift movements harried Yan Tianzhao. The battle was on the verge of tipping, yet Yan Tianzhao remained unfazed. He wasn't in the body of a god now, and even with his divine memories, he had to tread carefully. Inside the Black Tower, Ling Han quickly summoned its power, attempting to heal his wounds, only to find it futile. "Small Tower, why aren't my injuries recovering?" he asked, frustrated. "Who told you the Black Tower could heal injuries?" came Small Tower's calm reply. "The Black Tower can expel evil powers, but it has no healing abilities." Ling Han sighed in resignation. "If I die, you'll need to find yourself a new master. Why are you so calm?" "Ah, merely a new master. My life is eternal," Small Tower responded indifferently. Ling Han muttered a curse under his breath. He quickly circulated a drop of indestructible true fluid, and his body began to heal. Turning his attention to Zhuxuan Air, he found that though she wasn't struck in a fatal area, the force of Yan Tianzhao's blow had shattered her insides. Blood poured from her, and her life force waned rapidly. She would not survive much longer unless he did something. Small tower, stabilize her condition. I'm going to refine pills, Ling Han commanded. Small tower assessed her condition and replied, she is near death. To preserve her life, I will need to expend source power, but I have little left. Once used, it will be gone, and I will not be able to help you further. Ling Han's eyes blazed with determination. No need to think further. She can't die. Understood, Small Tower replied, its divine light enveloping Zhuxuan Air. With the power of the Black Tower, it stilled her life force, preventing her condition from worsening. Ling Han, now reassured that Zhuxuan Air would not die, focused on refining pills. There were plenty of spiritual grasses inside the Black Tower, but few high-tier ones. He could only refine an Earth-grade, low-level White Phoenix Water True Pill, a healing elixir, but whether it could heal her injuries was uncertain. A thought struck him. Could he add a drop of indestructible true fluid to the mix? This sacred healing fluid had the power to restore even the most grievous of injuries, but extracting it from his own body, how could he manage that? Small Tower. Do you have a way? Ling Han asked, hoping for a solution. Translator, Reverie, Editor Kurisu. The indestructible true fluid is only effective for those cultivating the indestructible heaven scroll. Even if you took it out, its effects would reduce drastically. Small Tower said indifferently. Reduced drastically, but still effective, right? Ling Han's gaze brightened. Yes, this is a treasured medicine for the human body, extracted by the indestructible heaven scroll. Its effects are the best for oneself, and second for others cultivating the indestructible heaven scroll. As for others, the effects will decrease by 100 times. Small Tower still said dully, as long as it's useful. Ling Han said, his voice tinged with determination. Ling Han, a grandmaster of alchemy, was undeterred. With a flick of his wrist, he added 5 drops of the indestructible true fluid to the White Phoenix Water True Pills recipe. This was the limit of what he could extract. He had just consumed 1 drop to save himself earlier. In only half an hour, he refined the pill. The essence of 5 drops of indestructible true fluid had been condensed into this 1 pill, a miraculous concoction with a profound recovery effect. Last resort. Ling Han muttered as he fed the pill to Zhuxuan Er. Yet she was near death, her jaw tightly shut, making it impossible for her to swallow. Ling Han's eyes gleamed with urgency. He tore off her veil, revealing her delicate features, and pried open her jaw, pushing the pill inside. He then poured some diluted spiritual liquid into her mouth, but the pill remained stuck. Si-chan, help! Pass her some air! Ling Han called out frantically. Li Si-chan, seeing Zhuxuan Er in such a dire state, was momentarily stunned. Her eyes widened as she whispered in disbelief. How could there be such a beautiful person? Ling Han, still unaware of his actions, realized that he had unintentionally unveiled Zhuxuan Er's true appearance. Her beauty was otherworldly, like the cold, radiant moon in the sky, untouched by the mortal world. While Heavenly Phoenix Divine Maiden had an aura of battle-hardened grace, Zhuxuan Er's beauty exuded an ethereal calm. Heavenly Phoenix was a force to be reckoned with, but Zhuxuan Er possessed a serene elegance that could not be compared. Don't stand there. Hurry up, Ling Han urged, as the small tower's source power was running low. Li Si-chan rushed over, her face still flushed with surprise, and she pressed her lips to Zhuxuan Er's, passing her breath to make her swallow the White Phoenix Water True Pill. Miraculously, Zhuxuan Er's wounds began to heal at an astonishing speed, and her internal injuries mended. Yet, despite the healing process, she remained unconscious, as her divine sense had been shattered under the assault of the Flower Blossom Tier martial intent. Ling Han sighed. Injury to the divine sense. I am at a loss. She's saved, but when she'll wake up, and if she ever does, depends on her will to survive. Si-chan, take care of her, Ling Han ordered, his expression darkening with cold resolve. His killing intent flared as he flashed out of the Black Tower, but Yan Tianzhao was already gone. He fled. Who knew in Small Rock are in pursuit, Kenye said. Yu Kaiyu couldn't help but mutter, why is it only strange to me that 2 people vanished into thin air, and now another one reappears out of nowhere? Am I the only one who's not normal? Young Master Han, how is Fairy Zhu? Yokai Yu asked, his voice filled with concern. She won't die, Ling Han replied curtly. As they spoke, the rock spirit returned with Hu Nu sitting on its shoulder. Damn it! He slipped away. I only managed to bite off one arm. Smells like rotten meat. Hu Nu tossed a severed arm to the ground. Lu Yutong and the others were astonished. Even with the rock spirit's help, the flower blossom tier battle had still ended in such a dramatic way. Hu Nu's prowess was truly formidable. Ling Han's face remained cold. Yan Tianzhao, with his divine memories, had recovered after being torn apart before. A severed limb was no challenge for someone like him. Next time, if Yan Tianzhao had not yet reached the flower blossom tier, Ling Han would have Small Tower boost his power to eliminate him for good. It was his pill that had awakened Yan Tianzhao from his slumber. He, of all people, would bring this battle to its end. Young Master Han! Young Master Han! Yokai Yu ran up. Where did you go just now? Where's Fairy Chai? Why is no one else curious? Why am I the only one? Ling Han blinked and replied, You've got blurry vision. Blurry vision, my foot? Jushuan Air isn't here, and no one's explaining anything. Yokai Yu thought to himself, but he said nothing aloud. Let's leave this place first, Ling Han said, cutting the conversation short. The group continued on, their vigilance heightened by Yan Tianzhao's attack. However, the journey ahead was calm, with no further threats. It seemed that the Azure Flame Vulture's display of force had scared off the beasts. In the distance, a large building stood on the flat land, clearly marking the entrance to the second test. As they approached, they saw only 10 people gathered. The formation spirit appeared and said coolly, The test begins in 1 day. It glanced at Ling Han. You sure know how to stir up trouble. Ling Han raised an eyebrow. What trouble have I caused? The entire forest is in an uproar. Wasn't it you who caused it? The formation spirit snorted. Ling Han snickered. There's no rule against causing trouble, right? You've caused enough trouble for me, the formation spirit muttered. If it weren't for you, half of the participants in the second stage wouldn't be here. The first group of participants was stunned. What exactly had Ling Han done? Ling Han remained silent, not sharing that he had stolen an Azure Flame Vulture's egg to raise a beast that would one day reach deity transformation tier. Over the next day, more people arrived, bringing the total number of participants to over 70, more than half of those who had survived the first stage. Ling Han set up a tent, taking the opportunity to enter the Black Tower as Jushuan Air finally awoke. Her body had fully healed, but her divine sense was still severely damaged. Recovery would take 1 to 2 months, but if she endured, it would greatly benefit her martial arts growth. As Jushuan Air slowly regained her senses, she asked, Young Master Han, where is this place? She also saw Li Si Chan present, a moment of confusion crossing her face.